Hey everyone, welcome to day 52. Today we'll be continuing on with Terraform, and this video will be more on theory of Terraform basics. First of all, I just want to say that Terraform, you don't have to obviously have everything in one file. You can have multiple .tf files, and Terraform will just organize all your code from that directory full of .tf files, and you can define these infrastructures however you want. For example, you can have a main, you can have a provider.tf, you can have variable.tf and such, but you can also do it in all in one file as well. So yeah, the Terraform will just read them all as one unit. And next I just want to move on to providers. I briefly went over this, but pretty much Terraform uses providers to communicate with different services, and this example of a provider block. You can also use multiple providers in one configuration. For example, in this code we have two provider blocks, AWS and random. So what this will do is pretty much just enable our Terraform to not only manage AWS resources, but also generate random values using the random provider. And next, something a bit more new is input variables, and pretty much what it is variables. What variables are, like in all sorts of coding, is make your configuration reusable, and you can define them. You can define them with a variable block. Pretty much goes like this. So variable, you want the name, and then default equals and what you want, like the value, pretty much. So variable, name of variable, and then the value, right? And those are just some examples here: file name, content, prefix, separator, length. And then how do we actually use it? Well, we call it by using var dot and then the name of the variable that we want to use. Each resource actually has attributes, and below is an example of an EC2 that sets the AMI instance type and adds tags. And once again, we can actually use variables or just normal values for this section as well. For example, here we'll use just variables, and we can use just a normal value. And next, resource dependencies. Terraform usually figures out dependencies automatically, right? But if needed, we can explicitly set them using depends on. So here we add an extra part where it depends on, and then we can add the dependencies just in case it doesn't work, or if it actually didn't work, then we can manually do it ourselves. And lastly, output variables, pretty much as its name implies, lets us print out the final values after deployment, almost like a public IP address, like this. So yeah, that's a bit more on Terraform basics. Hope you guys learned something, and hope you look forward to the lab tomorrow, or maybe even more theory. But I think I've been looking at some bigger projects that I can work on. It might not take me a day, so maybe I'll work on it tomorrow, but the video might not be about it until later. But yeah, look forward to it, and see you guys tomorrow.